It is October, and for lots of people, that means it's time to head to Raleigh and Wake County for the State Fair. Now I'm joined by Wake County Environmental Services Deputy Director Matt Roylance and Community Health Director Lynn Ledford.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Let's talk about the State Fair. It's a huge event and draws lots of people here to Wake County. Matt, what is Environmental Services' role in the fair?
Well, there's really 4 areas where we have a role. The first one, and maybe the most obvious one to people, is inspecting the food vendors that are selling food at the fair. The second is making sure that we have the safe and healthy water and sewer connections for the staff that bring their mobile home use to the fair. The third is the solid waste that's generated goes to our landfill. And the fourth is that if there's ever a need for animal control to respond to an incident, it would be our animal control officers that respond.
Lynn, what is Community Health's role?
Well, Community Health has been very involved in looking at the public health issues that might have an impact when people are at the fair. We work very closely with the staff of at the health fair, and we look primarily at issues that could cause communicable disease and other health-related issues.
Last year there was an E. coli outbreak, and there's been some changes at the State Fair this year coming up, and your staff and you were involved in those. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yes, we were honored to be asked to serve on a work group that actually examined all of the different areas of the fair after the event last year. As we worked with that team, we came to the conclusion that there are tremendous efforts on behalf of the fair to make sure that the experience is safe for the public. Our main focus probably centered around just some really simple things, and that was looking at issues such as where are hand washing stations, how are people and animals in safe proximity to each other, because there are risks to the animals as well as the people that visit the fair. So we played a role in examining all of those areas and hopefully gave what we believe to be very good advisement in that process.
Matt, talking about food when people go and eat, you said that our environmental specialists actually inspect the food stands?
That's right. We have about 150 to 160 establishments that we inspect each year, and the staff goes out and inspects them once to make sure that they're safe to open. And in that instance, what we're looking for are things like, is the equipment functional, is it clean, is everything in good working order? Because of course it's all got to be sort of assembled on site. It's different than a regular restaurant. We also look at the sources of the food that they're using, that they're going to prepare for the public, and whether that's from an approved source, and make sure that it's not contaminated, it hasn't been opened or damaged in transit or anything like that. And we also want to make sure that there is proper hygiene available, that there's a hand washing sink, like you heard Lynn talk about, for their staff, and that they're following proper food handling techniques. You know, that's something that we really have to wait until they get operational to see. And we do go back once we permit them to open. We have staff there at the fair every day going by and checking on all the vendors to make sure everything's working the way it should.
We were also talking a moment ago about the groundwater and how your department has a role in protecting that groundwater.
That's right. Every year there's an influx of people that come into work at the fair, and they usually have a camper or a mobile home, and there are about 320 or so last year that we did an inspection on, and we're mostly looking for whether they're hooked up properly to the water and sewer connections. All that infrastructure is there on site, but just getting everything connected, making sure that their equipment is working properly so that the sewage is being disposed of in a safe manner. And there's so many units in such close quarters that it's especially important to just to keep everybody safe.
So for visitors coming in, Lynn, they're going to notice some changes with hand washing. Can you tell us about the stations that are going to be up?
Yes, the primary thing that I think they will notice is that they're more visible. The stations, there will be some added locations for the hand washing stations, but there's going to be signage that is alerting people to their availability and much more visible to the public. We will also have some volunteers on some of the peak days that come in to kind of be a prompt or a reminder to people that yes, you do need to wash your hands regularly and be alert to that fact.
All right, any advice for folks as they're heading out to the State Fair?
Well, from public health perspective, and we work very closely together, environmental health is very linked with public health. But from our perspective, we always stress the fact that people need to remember to wash their hands. There is no better way to protect your health than to make sure you're doing that, and especially when you're coming in contact with various potential contaminants and then consuming food. So that's true in any setting, and we believe that there are ample precautions and resources there to make sure that people are safe. I advise people to be alert and think and wash their hands and to enjoy the fair because it's a great, fun place to be.
All right. Thank you, Sue Lynn. Thank you, Matt, so much for being with us.